set on fire. Out in the crosswinds, a little easy ride with the fairly soggy boys, and yeah, if it's like this tomorrow, it's going to be absolutely carnage. But
it's getting worse, progressively.
But I think it's calming down, unfortunately. Out of the expo before it blows away. Need to go say hi to Castelli.
Okay for now.
Okay.
But it's kind of rowdy. He said if it's time to scoop, we gotta go west to Tulsa.
Sweet. So, did not expect to be evacuating. We might not still, but it's... You can't see that. It's getting worse outside. And packed up all my life. 6 weeks into 2 bags. And we're just going now. What's going on?
I don't really have to say much.
We're packed up here. The other boys are packed up here.
5-star rating on the Airbnb.
Get in! This weekend, it is currently, 7 o'clock on Saturday night? The last 24 hours, 26 hours have been insane. Like, we came here to Mid-South, or in Oklahoma, to race the Mid-South Gravel, essentially opening weekend of the gravel season. And what ended up happening was fever dream, I suppose is the best way of describing it. Like, we went out for the pre-race ride, everything was a normal morning, just came back went to the expo to start with. Wind was getting high, and we was like, oh, spend the rest of the day inside, go sign on later, big queue. And then, it's about 3:30 in the afternoon, I got a text from Danny Shrewsbury back in Girona, like, hey man, you okay? I'm like, of course I'm okay, I'm just sitting here on the couch. Go outside and see kind of the first kind of smoke on the horizon, and we're like, whoa, something's clearly gone on. Escalated relatively quickly, maybe within an hour. We went from, oh, this is interesting, and Alexi came out from his nap in his tidy-whities and said, boys, this is looking more serious on the other side of town, maybe we should start getting organised. And the side of town we're staying on we're about 1.5 miles, 2 miles from where the fires were, but close enough when there's 30-40 mile an hour winds. And it was really bizarre. Like, I've never been in anything like it. Luckily we were staying with Alexi Vermeulen and Alex Howes, both of whom are Colorado boys and have a background knowing forest fires, or wildfires, whatever you want to call them, I don't know. Say, Dan and I are just 2 boys from Grimsby, this doesn't happen very often. So, everything in this room was thrown into a bag. Luckily Logan was here with his van, as we didn't have room in our car. Everything got loaded up, and it was kind of, do we go, don't we go? We weren't necessarily in the mandatory evacuation zone, but, I mean, when you're 1.5 miles away from the evacuation zone, and the wind's that high, eventually it kind of got sooty in the air and ashy, and Howes made the decision, we need to go to the other side of town. Which is what we did at probably 5:30, and at this point the race was still on. It was kind of happening as we were going on. Like, the cloud went grey, you couldn't see the sun. Like, well, not the clouds, the smoke. The town just went weird. We went to the other side of town, hung out for a bit. Wouldn't go outside without a mask on. Kind of all this weird stuff which we've never come across before. And then the whole race debate came, which is what kind of ruled from 8 PM to midnight last night. Do we race? The air quality index was through the roof. There's fire engines, there's houses burning down. It's like, the bike race isn't important, but equally everyone's flown here for the bike race, and obviously where bike races is on our mind. And I was kind of like, quite early, I was like, I don't think we should race, but I can see why we would. The organisers put something out around 8:30 saying we're going to go ahead. The fires got worse significantly, and then it kind of became a game of everyone was calling around the peloton, or the pros at least, being like, are you racing? You're not racing? eventually the decision was taken off our hands at like 11:30 when the organisers put something out and said it was cancelled, which can arguably too little too late, doesn't matter, the race is cancelled, we're done. It is the right call, and then we woke up the next morning, blue skies, birds singing, and it was like nothing had happened, it was genuinely like a fever dream. So yeah, this video, we was expecting it to be a race of the best, what I think is the best gravel race in the world, most fun race in the world, and it ended up being a video of a pre-race ride, a fire evacuation, and not having any clue what's going on. So quite bizarre. Yeah. It's one of those, it's like bike race isn't important anymore.
How much did you enjoy my company?
Oh yeah, we had Hutch out here for the first, hence doing this. But no, we're going to try and bring Hutch out to a few more races out stateside, and it's nice having someone here from home who's like, all this stuff is also wild, and I don't mean the wildfires, I mean the American flags, the experience. Like, I think it's my 3rd season out here now. There's a few things which are starting to become normal to me, and I think having Dan out here is like, oh yeah, America isn't normal.
This guy's as stupid as I am.
Yeah, exactly. So now, the photos we got from this weekend were insane, and hopefully this video will come out, who knows, because there's not much bike riding in it. Next time I'll be recording is probably Tracker. I have another 4 weeks in the States. Going to driving to Texas next week, up to Boulder for training camp, and then racing on the road at Redlands and Levi's Fondo before back to Europe, back to Tracker, back to gravel, and back to having Daniel videoing and photographing me.